disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movie, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Center Network. On Mondays, you got the Winner Circle with myself, Angel Diaz, Chris Walker, and Isaiah Gathings. Tuesdays, you got the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. Wednesdays, you got the Traditional Way with Brett Shumway. And Thursdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Center Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it's showtime. That was pretty smooth for just not even thinking about it.
Yeah, see, you just need a little break. That's all.
Yeah, I almost got Chris and Isaiah's last names mixed up. That's why I had to pause a little bit when I was doing the intro. But other than that, man, it was cool. Wasn't bad, man. So yeah, man. So it's been a minute since we've been back on here, Fist, Kicks, and Flicks. We've had a busy few weeks, right, man?
Yes, all three of us, man. Dang.
Yeah. So even with Winter Circle, myself and Angel and Isaiah we've had busy weeks. So we haven't recorded Winter Circle in a few weeks either. So. And even Superflix, our show, we haven't even been able to record that lately. So, man, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel, man. Things are about to slow down for us a little bit, I think, Joe.
I don't know, man. I got new stuff coming up all the time, but it's funny because, just staying busy, staying on the mood. The time goes by quick, but I like to just sit down, chill, and do a couple podcasts here and there. So. That's fun for me. Some people might say, "Oh, it's slow motion." No, man, I like that. Take it time, take it easy. When we talk about some fun stuff, I get to watch a movie. So for me, I get to watch 2 movies every week. So
right, and you know what? The fun thing is, man, I will be doing this anyway. I will be literally watching 2 movies anyway. So it's not even like I'm doing anything extra going out of my way. Melissa,
and
she goes to sleep early. She goes to sleep earlier than me, and a lot of times I'm still up, and I watch movies. I can watch 2 movies before I go to bed every night. Because she's knocked out. She's knocked out. Normally Melissa's not up past 10:30. She's not up. And me,
wow.
she a lot of times like she'll doze off. Sometimes if I'm not doing anything, and if I'm around, if it's 8:30, and we both had dinner, we're on the couch just sitting there talking, I know that she might start dozing off a little early, especially if she sits. We have in our living room, we have 2 couches. We have a couch and a love seat. A lot of times, she's stretched out on the couch and I'm on the love seat. And I know if she sits next to me, I promise you, she's out within 15 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Every time.
Second my wife cuddles up to me on the couch, I'm like, "Well, I'm just too warm for you, too comfy." Yeah. So no, like for me, I like to when I go to bed. Like I don't want to. My wife, she wants the TV on. Let's watch a show or something like that. I'm like, if it's bedtime, I want to just get to bed and go to sleep.
See, I can't just get in bed and go to sleep.
She's the same way.
I was since I was a little kid. Maybe it's an artist thing, but I have to have TV on, and then I feel myself relaxing, and my mind is not racing, and I'm watching TV, and I can feel myself getting sleepy from that point. But if it's just me in a dark room,
if we don't watch TV, she'll doom scroll until she goes to bed, and then I wake up first, and I'll find that phone like over here, over there, sometimes right on top of her head. I'm like, how do you just dropped the phone and went to bed? So I laugh. I go, man, I can For me, I roll over, get comfortable, and I'm out in 2 seconds.
So let me ask you this, man. I know that you and I last time we talked the NBA playoffs were going on, and I know who you were rooting against. So did it
Of
make you feel
course,
did it
of
make you
course.
feel good when New York lost?
I know that we haven't seen much of Angel since the New York Pricks. I mean, Knicks lost, so
No, we haven't.
I
Angel,
mean, they
Angel,
put up a good. All jokes aside, they put up a good fight, but I
Angel,
was happy. I didn't want to see them win.
he has been pretty quiet on all the like how many threads do we have? Like we have one with just me, you, and him. Then we have another one
Yep.
with him and Travis. Then we have I know I have one with me and him and Isaiah and Chris. Even on Facebook and Instagram. Angel hasn't really said too much anything lately.
And it's funny because for us to for us as Pistons fans to want to root
Mhm.
for the Pacers over the over the Knicks, that's pretty bad because I don't like the Pacers either. But you know, to each his own. At this point, like the way that was going down, I didn't want to hear his mouth no more.
I never asked you this, man. Are you a big NBA fan?
Man, I was for a while, and I'm glad that I can be back because I've been following the finals, but
Hmm.
I've just always been more of a Pistons fan. And
Hmm.
I mean, like I know basketball, I can watch it. I like other teams, or certain players that I've always been rooting for,
Hmm.
but it's been so hard to watch the Pistons lately. I kind of fell off
Hmm. Oh
until
yeah,
this
it,
year.
it definitely has been hard to watch the Pistons the
It
last few
killed
years.
me because I used to go to the games. I used to watch
Hmm.
them. I would go to the Palace for to watch them on the jumbotron for the away games. So
Oh
I
wow.
mean, to me, that's how to go from that, and then they're just unwatchable. I'm just
Hmm.
happy we can watch them again, man. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. You know, so I know a lot of people were complaining about the NBA for the finals because they were saying, "Oh, like, oh man, it's Oklahoma City against Indiana Pacers. Nobody wants to see that." And I
Have they
asked a lot of,
watched the games?
huh?
Have they watched the games? These
Probably
have
not
been
because though,
exciting ass games.
yeah, but see, this is the thing. Like the league does. So I've talked about this in different groups, with D and Travis and Drew, and a couple other friends that I had, and I asked them like why don't people even care what cities are playing in the finals? We don't get this with football. We don't get this with the Super Bowl. We don't get this with the World Series. Nobody cares who's playing. They're just ready to see, the Super Bowl or the World Series. And to
Yeah.
me, it's like this should be a lesson that the NBA should not be so focused on their superstars and just focus on, teams more. And throughout the whole year, like I haven't heard anything about Indiana or the Thunder all year. Nothing at all. And now here they are in the finals. They were so concerned about Bronny James and they were so concerned about
Ugh.
Luca, and it's
Ugh.
like, you know, there are other teams,
Yeah.
and then we wouldn't have this problem if all of the sports shows, if they focus on, you know, the whole league and all of the teams and not just the superstars.
Didn't the
You know.
Thunder have the best record in the league this year?
They did, but I ain't hear nothing about them. I think they took them as a joke. Like there was some times, a few years ago when Indiana, Toronto, Atlanta, they were the top of the East. Even when
Yeah.
LeBron James was over there, but they would never make it to the finals. They would end up losing. They would, end up, losing to, whoever was number two or whatever team LeBron was on.
Yeah.
And even Minnesota, not Minnesota, I'm sorry, Memphis has some good runs in the West. I don't think those teams that don't have superstars, I don't think the league or the networks take those teams seriously, especially if there's not a superstar in their opinion. Somebody that's doing commercials, somebody that has a shoe, somebody that's selling a bunch of jerseys. I don't think they really take those teams seriously. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I
And then
know, and that
and then we
to
get
me.
situations like this where nobody really wants to see those two teams. Now, if they have been promoting them all year, then it'll be a little bit different right now.
See, I'm the opposite. I like to see different teams, unless it's my team. That's the team that's always there.
Hmm.
But I like seeing different teams for everything. I like to see it right now in hockey. that we're seeing some of the teams we've never seen for a while, you know. So I like it when they mix it up. I hate the Super Bowl. Like, I'm so sick of Kansas City. I wish somebody would just beat them. I mean, I'm glad they lost in the Super Bowl, but I'm sick of seeing them in it. Just like I was sick of seeing Tom Brady every year. I'm like, come on, man. Somebody. That's why I was always rooting for the Giants.
You were?
just because Eli Manning is the giant killer, man. Like he beat Tom Brady twice with two stupid ass plays. Stupid plays.
Now let's think about this. If there was an NBA team in Kansas City, they would be talking about, I don't want to see that team. You know, nobody ever said that about the football. They talk about Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and you know and you know the team as a whole. You never hear anybody complaining about the city. I don't even think people even complain about going to play there. But when there's a small market basketball team, it's different. It's treated different, and I don't like that so much. You know,
me neither.
It's not like I'm going there. I'm not going there. You know, I actually do go to Indianapolis, and the last time I went a few weeks ago, I had a good time. But like I said, once again, that was the first time I was ever there on the weekend. You know, there was a lot of stuff going on down in Indianapolis. So, you know, hopefully, hopefully this will be a lesson, because they're already talking about this is supposed to be this might be one of the lowest drawing rated NBA finals. Who cares? As long as it's good, as long as the games are good, that's all that really matters.
I mean, the Pacers have come back from some crazy games, and OKC was running through people until the last couple of series. Like they was just taking people out. Let's see, whatever. So yesterday we were supposed to record, and then my daughter comes home. So she's a part of the International Thespian Club for acting, you know, and she joined that a couple years ago, and all of a sudden, one of the people who run it told her, "Hey, we're going to make you vice president of your school.
Oh, wow!
Can you make it to the school today to be inducted as the vice president? And we need you to read off some things and introduce." They promoted 44 people to the club yesterday, and I was like, "That's cool, but I wish we could have had a little more notice." Like, I picked my kids up from my mom's house around 3, and then I go home. She's got to be back at the school at 5:30, and then the thing starts at 7. But it was cool because it was real fast and short. But she got recognized, and everyone was hooping and hollering for her, so she was happy about that, and she deserves that. So I was happy for her.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoyed that, and you know, she's looking real good for next year. The choir director also just sent her an email. This choir director has been wanting to join choir forever.
Thanks.
Now she wants her to join the advanced choir.
Okay.
And basically that choir, like all the people who get leads in the play are from that choir.
Okay.
So I told her, like, they're doing, so her last chance to get like a bigger role, a nice, you know, top 3 lead is coming this year. And I think they'll give her something, but she'll increase her chances if she joins that choir. So I don't know what she wants to do, but I'm encouraging her to do it.
I don't think you ever talked much about her singing. Have you?
So she's a soprano.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's a soprano. She sings pretty good. She can belt pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know where the talent comes from, because my wife and I we don't sing. I mean, we got some singers on both sides of the family, but it must come from one of them, because I mean, she's just always been like that since I can remember. And then we took her, you know, because just like anything else, and she was hesitant at first. We told her all the kids who get leads all have coaches. So we got her a singing coach like 4 years ago, and it really brought her over that hump to where she was starting to get more roles, and her singing was getting a lot better. You know, because I can't teach her the things that she needs to learn. Right. You know, the breathing, when to breathe, how to hit the higher notes. even just some of the exercises that she learns to help, control her instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So now, like I said, this could just be another tool to help her to move on because they announced the musical for next year, and it's Legally Blonde, and I think there's a part in there. You've seen Legally Blonde before, right?
I have, yeah, yeah. It's been
The
years since the last time I saw it, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. But I was looking at it and I said right away, I was like, oh my god, the perfect part for her would be Paulette. Paulette is the character played by Jennifer Coolidge,
Okay.
and that's a lead. That's like basically, I think she has 2 songs and 50 plus lines. So I'm like, I think that would be a perfect part for her. She looked at it, she loved it. So I was like, get your singing coach on it. If you join the choir, go ahead. If not, you got to blow them away at that audition.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens.
So what's the plans for next year? Well, she's going to be a senior next year, right?
Yeah, so she's going to be a senior next year, and again, she'll do 2 plays. They always do a musical and then a non-musical play, which she's gotten. She's gotten back-to-back leads in the non-musical because her acting's really good too. So
I did mean next year. I mean the year after. So she's planning to go to New York for
I've
schooling
asked her
or.
about that.
Mm-hmm.
I've asked her about that, and sometimes she's like, so her idea right now, she's looking at Wayne State, Oakland University. Both of them have some good theater programs, but then OCC, Orchard Ridge, I think it is, has a really good theater program as well. So something on the cheaper side. But this International Thespian Society, they have a scholarship program.
Mm,
So if she could get some scholarships, she might pick one of the other schools, or she might look out of. I told her, I'm not one of those parents that are like, oh, we'll help you with school, but you got to stay close by. Man, go enjoy life.
yeah.
Get out there, have fun, do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come see you, or we can FaceTime and all that stuff. So she definitely wants to stick with the acting and something like that, maybe teaching it, or maybe being a part-time actress on the side, and another job here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So she hasn't quite figured it all out yet, but I think that's the path she's looking at.
Okay. All right.
That would
Cool.
be good for her.
All
What have you
right.
been up to?
Man, I've been moving. I've been moving around, not physically, like not moving out my house or anything like that, but I've just been on the move because few weeks ago I went to Indianapolis for work. I went down there, took care of the business down there, came back, and we had Comic Con. And after Comic Con, I went to Dallas. So I went to Dallas that Monday, and I was only there from Monday to Wednesday. And
Oh wow,
we had meetings down there. But that
you
was the
drive
first
the
time I've
whole
been to Dallas. Huh?
you drive the whole thing?
Oh hell no! I would never.
I was gonna
I
say.
would never. I would never drive to Dallas. I'm not one of those people that just. If it's in the vicinity of Michigan, you know, I can drive anything like within 10 hours. And I
Okay.
really don't want to drive a continuous 10 hours. I got another story I'll tell you in a minute. But just pretty much this area, but driving down there, nah, that's not happening. So I flew down there for work. Um, man, the Dallas airport, when it was time for me to go, there was literally no one in line when I went through security.
Really?
No one, not a person. I mean, this airport is so huge, though. It's so huge. So I get there, and they already have designated pickup for us. You got to go here, and you got to meet up with your group here, right? So I get off the plane. I get a text message from one of my coworkers, who I don't know. I've never met him before. He's not on my immediate team, and they set up an Uber for us to meet up and all ride together. So it's like 3 other guys, and they're waiting on me. I have no idea where I'm at. So I know I'm in Terminal E, and they said that they're in Terminal C. So I'm trying to figure out how to get to Terminal C. I walk outside, it's hot as hell. And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
looking
Dallas
around.
is real warm.
Yeah. So I'm looking around trying to figure out how to get to Terminal C. I'm lost. I'm outside lost. There's a bunch of construction going on. Um, I finally I'm talk he's calling me every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, finding out where I'm at. I'm like, dude, I don't know where the hell I'm at. He was like, you downstairs, you're upstairs. I finally go upstairs. I'm looking for him. I ended up, he was like, well, just take a, he was like, what, from what they told me, Terminal C is next to Terminal E. So just walk on down till you see Terminal C. I said, okay, cool. Man, I'm walking and I'm like, shit, I'm not gonna be able to keep walking. I can't keep doing this. This out, it's too big. So they had shuttles that would take you to the different terminals. So I
Yeah.
get on this shuttle. Man, I'm glad I did not try and walk that. Like that the, the damn ride was damn near 15, 20 minutes to the next terminal. So I can only imagine how long that walk would have been. So when I finally get there, I'm still looking for them. Can't find them at all. Now I'm starting to get pissed. Like, no, this is too big. This is ridiculous. So he
This is
calls
the
me.
TV was in Chicago situation all over again.
Right, right. So he says, he was like, "You want to just get your own Uber and then just meet us at the hotel?" I said, "Yeah, you know what, man, that might be best because right now I'm really kind of pissed trying to find you guys." I beat them to the hotel. I jumped I jumped on our Uber was acting up, so I just jumped on my Lyft app and I got Lyft and had Lyft take me there. And I beat them to the hotel. As soon as we get to the hotel, I gotta go to meet and go to the T-Mobile offices. And I get there, man. Um, so the offices down there, T-Mobile, I guess the buildings that we're working out of used to be Metro PCS, right?
Mhm.
But it's a campus. It's like a college campus. It's all these different buildings, these T-Mobile buildings. And this used to be Metro's headquarters. And when T-Mobile bought Metro PCS, they converted it all to T-Mobile. So the hotel was in walking distance, like a 15-minute walk to the offices. But some people had rented cars, so they were coming back and forth and getting people and taking us over there, whatever. So as soon as I get there, boom, we got to go to the office. Got my room, throw my bags in the room, walk on over there to the offices, and we had lunch and had fun. It was fine. And then they tell us, okay, we're going out to dinner tonight. So they had this whole little bar thing that we went to for dinner, man. It was pretty good. But the Dallas Cowboys have a practice facility, just like the Lions do in Allen Park. Well, they built an entertainment center around their practice facility,
Oh yeah.
right? So there were shops and restaurants and bars, and they had all of these different statues of different players and stuff. So I took some pictures of that. That was pretty cool, man, for the Cowboys. And Yeah, it was fine. So and Tuesday meetings all day. Then Tuesday night they said we're going to dinner. We went to South Fork. Now I have always been a fan of the show Dallas. So going out to South Fork, that's the ranch. That was the main ranch that they all lived on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I went out there, got to see South Fork and walk through the house, and it's still a working ranch. So
Wow.
I was
That's
surprised.
crazy.
Well, somebody told me that it was still a working ranch because you get tax breaks by having the animals and agriculture and things like that. So they got a tax break. So there were still bulls and cows and horses and llama and donkeys, mules, all types of animals still walking around. And I didn't smell any of it. We had dinner out there. I didn't smell any animal. I went walking around the
Huh.
ranch and took pictures of the animals. And these animals are walking right up to the fence. And doesn't smell like manure or anything. I'm like, well, how come you can't do this at the state fair? You go to the state fair, as soon as you walk in there, you smelling the animals.
Yup.
No, these animals were clean, man. So we had a good time. Unfortunately for me, though, there wasn't a lot of options. There wasn't any fish. It was chicken and these big ass pieces of ribs or some type of beef. So all that I could eat was the baked beans, some coleslaw, some potato salad, and a couple of pieces of cornbread. That was it. That's all I could have. The chicken did look good too. The chicken and the ribs did look good. I was thinking like, you know what? has been a while since I had some real meat. I didn't do it. I did think about it though, man, because those pieces of chicken were about this big. It's
Yeah.
like, damn.
I got a
And
cousin. I got a cousin who's a vegetarian, but she'll do chicken and fish every once in a while.
well, I have fish. You know, I
Yeah.
have fish and shrimp, and the reason I do is because when I get together with coworkers or we have meetings and things like that, and we have these type of events. Before, when I was straight vegan, when I did the straight vegan thing, I didn't have any options to eat.
Yeah.
You know, and I would get back
It's
to my
hard.
room or somewhere. Yeah, it was too hard, man. I'm not, and I wasn't one of those people that was doing it because of the animals and all of that and animal abuse. That I did it for my own health, you know. So that's why, and I kind of sticking to it. But I did bring fish back because I figured like when you go to a restaurant, there's always some type of seafood option that you can
Yeah.
have, you know. But when I went back on Wednesday, I walked to the airport, just walked right through security, no waiting at all. You know, there was no one in line. It was real quick. I mean, yeah, I think I took my shoes off, but still, I just walked right through. You know, so I like that. I wish Detroit airport was like that, man. There was no
Never.
lines at all. I really like that. You know,
Heck yeah.
got back here. And then me and Melissa had our anniversary. Can you believe it's been 1 year?
Yeah, that's
So
crazy, man. Happy anniversary.
yeah, thanks, man. So we end up we haven't gone we didn't go away. It's just been too much going on, man. So we didn't get a chance to go away, but we are going to go away in July. So what we ended up doing was just getting a room out in Troy for the weekend, and we just hung out in Troy and did some shopping and went through some nice little restaurants and just spent some time together. So and then we talked about in July going out. We're gonna do a road trip in July. Gonna
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna go to New York. I'm gonna drive to New York City, and we're gonna go to the Poconos. So
Okay.
that should be pretty fun, man. But we're gonna make some stops along the way. Like I think driving out there, we'll stop in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 5 hours from Detroit, because so we're gonna stop there overnight, hang out in Pittsburgh for a day, and then continue to drive to New York. One of the concerns I did have was staying in New York City. I was like, I don't want to drive. I don't want to deal with that damn traffic. So I got a hotel in Newark, New Jersey, and what we're gonna
Okay.
do is just take the train into Manhattan, and and hang out in Manhattan. So we'll be down there in New York for 4 days. And then once we leave New York, we're gonna stay in the Poconos for another 4 days, and then drive to Cleveland, from the Poconos to Cleveland, stay in Cleveland overnight, and then head back to Detroit. So we're gonna head out for about 10. We're gonna be gone for about 10 days, man. So you know,
That's nice.
yeah. So nice little game, and we both like getting on the road drive. Well, I do all the driving. Mel, nah. I don't let her drive me, not anymore. She mm-mm. That sobers me up when she drives real quick. Real quick. So, but let's talk about our movie for this week. Master
So
Z,
we
Hitman
yeah
Legacy.
we let Jeff kind of steer us into what movie to pick this week, and it was a good movie. Story was a little all over the place to me, but the martial arts was great. I mean, so far all the Ip Man movies have had really good fighting.
Yeah, yeah.
Now this they put the Ip Man tag on this,
Hmm.
but I think it's just like the Ip Man universe because this was
Yeah.
Ip Man was only mentioned. He was not in it.
No, no. And I didn't think he would have been either.
Yeah. And what I'm reading is this basically took place after the main character lost in the first movie, I believe, to
Yeah,
Itma,
yeah.
uh, Chung Tichi.
Yes. So, Joe. Question. I was wondering if you were going to watch this and just read the subtitles, because that was the first selection that I picked, and I said, "Hell no, I'm not about to. I'm not about to do this." So then,
Um, my
so
problem
then,
is if
I
I
I
do
did
that, I have to be at home to watch it because sometimes I watch these at work, and
okay.
I can't watch subtitles at work.
No. So then I got the English dub version. I saw that on Tubi. So I watched it, right? So man, I could not understand what they were saying at first. And they're speaking
Yeah.
English, but the English subtitle, I mean dubs, oh man, it was hard for me. So I had to turn on the subtitles anyway, right?
Yeah.
So then it made it a little bit easier to understand. And then I eventually got used to the way these people were talking. But
No, it's funny.
the
I can remember.
subtitles did not match word for word what these people were saying, because some stuff
Oh,
I
for
heard
real?
what they no, and some stuff I heard
That
exactly
always
what they said,
that
but that
always
was not what was
happens
written.
because the translation is different. They
Yeah.
dub they dub to make the story make more sense, but the translation from Japanese to English is the wording is different. Because
Mm,
I that happens in all the anime I watch. So before I got into anime, I remember the very first time I saw anything dubbed, and it was Rumble in the Bronx
okay.
with Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
which I love that movie. But I just remember like, why are they mouths look like that? I remember the first time I seen it, I was like, oh, it took me a minute to like be like, oh, this is a Chinese movie that they dubbed. I
hmm
was like, oh man, that's
You know what?
crazy.
You know what this movie reminded me of? Man, I'm so proud of myself because I told myself to write this down because I was going to say it on the show and I didn't, but I remember it right now. This reminded me of an updated version of a kung fu movie from the 70s. That's what this movie,
Which one?
but in the newer time, this movie, Master Z, I could see this movie being around in the 70s. Like
Oh yeah,
it had that type of martial arts feel, and the writing reminded me of those old kung fu films, even though it was an updated movie. Like this was, you can tell this was done, now, but
yes.
it reminded me of,
20,
it had that old feel.
2018 according to
Hmm.
uh
Yep.
online. So we start off and we get Master Chung, and
And another
he's
thing, before you continue, I have
yeah.
no idea what these people's names were, except for Nana, because that's the only name that was familiar to me.
I got it
I
in front of me. Otherwise, I
okay,
didn't catch much of them either.
yeah, they talked real fast when they would say people's names, and what they
Yes,
were saying was not matching up with the names that was in the subtitle to me. I was like, that
and I'm
doesn't look like
sorry,
what they
but
just said.
some of these Chinese names sound like they're just talking, so I don't even know. So I'm not trying to say that to be mean. I'm just saying like it all kind of runs together sometimes.
Right,
It's
right. I got
crazy.
you. Yeah, I got you.
And sometimes different names sound so similar. It's so
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
It'd
exactly.
be like if
Yeah,
you were like Bob, Rob, and whatever, Todd.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'd be like, wait, what? Who's who?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, so the beginning of this, I had to watch it a couple times because I'm like, wait, what is happening? So from my understanding, our hero in this movie is being hired as an assassin.
Oh, really? Shit, that's news to me.
Well,
I know that he
this
said
guy,
it. He
yeah,
said it
well,
later on in the film,
well,
but I didn't.
he used to be an assassin.
Right.
And this guy's saying you don't. What did he say? He says you don't do children or women, but this guy you should be able to handle. And he's giving him money.
Hmm.
So I think he's trying to hire him, and he says it's double pay. Think it over. So I don't
So
know if this is like a flashback to his old days.
yeah, so I thought this was something from the Ip Man movie that I might have just forgot about when I saw that, and I don't remember him being classified as a hitman in Ip Man. I just thought he was just another martial arts instructor that wanted to be number one
Yeah.
in Hong Kong.
It looks to me like he's turning down the job, which pisses off the guy who's trying to hire him. Because if you read the synopsis of the movie, it says, defeated by Master Ip, martial arts expert Chung Tin Chi tries to lead a normal life in Hong Kong until triad leaders draw him back into fighting.
Now, his name wasn't Chung in Ip Man, was it? I thought they were just
I
calling him
think,
Master Z.
yeah, I think that's all they were calling him.
Yeah, so I would have thought they would have called
Yeah,
him that in this movie also.
they wanted to give him a full name, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
And they never called him Master Z in this. They didn't
No,
even
they didn't.
recognize him as anything.
No,
All they
no.
recognize him as is the guy that lost to Hitman.
That they didn't know that, did they? They just knew he fought Ip Man.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Because that was in Hitman's house, right?
Yep. Yep.
So this guy basically, after he's walking away from him, he says, I got a question, which is faster, um, your fist or my gun?
Hmm.
And of course, in true, he says over 7 paces, the gun is faster. Within 7 paces, my fist is faster, and that is total kung fu movie drama.
Yeah.
Like that is straight out of a kung fu movie.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then you know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
What he just said, and the guy says, well, we're 7 paces apart right now. And what happens? Before he pulls his gun, he gets punched in the face. So, of
Yeah.
course, even though he said it one way, he still beat the odds.
But did you like his reasoning for why he did it? He
Yeah.
said he said because you flipped your code up or something like that, so that gave him the extra time to get to him. do
So,
you do you know anybody that trains kung fu now? You personally?
me personally, no, I don't think I do.
I don't either. Now I know they do because I see when I'm out and about for work, I do see kung fu schools. In this day and age, and then this is not a knock on kung fu, but why would someone train kung fu in 2025?
They enjoy the art of it, I guess.
Yeah, I would think that's the only reason.
I always thought it would be cool. I thought it would be interesting, but I mean, other than watching these movies and like I enjoy their forums and stuff, and I know a
Mm.
lot of them think that their fighting style is could be effective in a real fight, but if that's the case, why don't we see them in the UFC? Why don't we see them,
I have
in any full contact aspect?
full contact. What about point fighting? Like I've
Uh,
never lost to a kung fu person in point fighting. Like those are some
yeah,
of
I
the.
know.
I mean, I hate to say it, but were some of the easiest fights I've ever had. Because
It's
I don't think they train to fight like we do as far as point fighting.
I think the problem with that is they're very stuck in their ways and their style, that if they could use aspects of kung fu to help their fighting, but they
Mm,
need to know, like, based on the rules of point sparring, there's more than just your stance and the way
mm-hmm,
you're allowed to move. Like,
mm-hmm,
I think a lot of their movement is a lot of straight lines and a lot of aerial attacks.
mm,
That's not going to work in a real sparring match or a point sparring match. So they just have to. They could combine it with something else. They'd probably be fine. But a lot of them, they don't know any different because that's all they know. I
yeah,
don't know,
yeah. All right,
but
let's keep
I
going.
don't. I don't think it's something that can be disrespected. But I'll tell you one thing: when you watch even when you watch these movies, the only time you see a kung fu fight go pretty far is when it's two guys that know kung fu.
I Yes. Now I've heard people say that they've seen real kung fu practitioners have a real fight with each other, and it always turns into grappling. Like they'll start off doing the sticky hands, and next thing you know, somebody trying to take somebody down, and then they're on the ground grappling after that.
And then
You
where's the
know,
kung fu in that?
exactly, exactly. So I don't know,
I
but
would
as
like
far
to see. I would like to see something uh, of a kung fu fight and be effective. I think that would be interesting.
I don't
Just
think,
haven't seen it.
man, I want to see someone in today's UFC that's a kung fu practitioner participating in UFC. That's what I want to see. I want to see how that
Yeah,
goes.
I mean,
That
just
would be, but
like
they can't. They wouldn't be able to do that. They would have to. It'll be interesting to see how they would, uh, transform their style to be able to compete in the UFC, and grapple and wrestle and
yeah,
box and still have their foundation and still be able to use their techniques. It'll be
just
an
like
interesting combination.
to me, it's just like capoeira. Like, there are aspects of capoeira that are very effective, but you don't see a lot of people using it in a real fight.
Mm. No.
So I mean, like I said, I've seen some effective strikes. We just saw that one on Karate Combat where the guy knocked the dude out with that. What do you do? Like a flip kick? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it.
You haven't seen that? Oh my god, that was that was nasty. He did that like the kick where it comes, you're on your back and then you flip over and you swing the hook kick across. Oh man, you should look it up.
I'll
It's crazy.
yeah, I'll look it
Yeah,
up and see.
yeah. It was, and he basically knocked that dude right out. Um, this shows our hero, Master Z. I'm just gonna call him Master Z.
Okay.
He owns a store, and him and his son live there. So he's taking his son to school. He's riding a bike, and he's just trying to live in a normal life. The son later talks about him having a school, but I think
Hmm.
he used to have a school. I don't think he has
Yeah.
it anymore
No, he doesn't.
because they
No.
never once showed him training anybody or anything like that.
No, he actually he even said that somebody brought it up to him in the movie at some point in time, and he said, I think it might have been the girl. And I'm sorry, I do not remember her name, and I don't. And then I should probably pull up the cast, but
The sister is Julia,
Julia, a regular name
the
like
one.
that.
I know. I said the same thing. I'm looking at it right here. So
Okay.
after he drops his son off, we go to a scene. There's a guy who's harassing a girl, and I guess she buys opium from this triad, and she doesn't pay her bill. Then her sister shows up and pays the bill and tries to take her, but apparently the sister didn't bring enough money because the guy felt they were owed not just the money but the principal.
Hmm.
Because give them an inch, I'll take a mile.
The interest.
So yeah, the interest or
Yeah, he said this is
whatever.
just the principle.
I believe this guy, the who we thought was the leader, but we find out he's not the leader.
Hmm.
Was it looks like Toso Sai Kit? I'll just call him Toso.
Yeah.
Anyhow, he basically slaps her around, hits her with a glass, punches the other guy. So he's basically trying to show his dominance, and then tells her to call someone and bring her the money. And it looks like this has happened before because literally the sister shows up with the money right away
Hmm.
to help out and tells them not to sell opium to her anymore. But they're like, she loves it. We don't care. We want our money. We're going to sell to her anytime she comes to talk to
Hmm.
us.
Hmm.
And then the sister is mad that they beat her up, but says she's going to let it slide. But once they start talking about extra money, then she starts fighting.
And she can
Things get
fight
out of
too.
hand. Yeah, she could definitely fight. She was doing pretty good,
Hmm.
but she gets herself in a little trouble, and luckily, at that point, she runs into Master Z. But
Literally.
yeah, on the bike, and I thought
Hmm.
this part was interesting because, like you said, she was fighting pretty good, but he is fighting. He doesn't even leave the bike for the first like 5 or 6 parts of the fight. Then he's actually using the bike.
Hmm. Yeah, it was a pretty good fight.
Now, I will say, for someone who's trying to live a simple life and take care of his kid, because he was picking up a present for his kid,
Hmm.
he probably should not have gotten involved in this because it really messes his whole life up.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does.
but
They
it
blow up his
does.
store. They
Yeah,
track him down everywhere he's going. His kid almost dies a couple times. Like, come on.
it did. But at the end of the movie, like it changed his life. It made it for the better.
Yeah,
Now,
more or less.
did they explain where this kid's mom was or what happened to her?
No.
And I was wondering, was that something that might have been talked about in the first It Man movie, and I don't remember.
No, me neither. I don't either. So the police show up and take everyone in. And it's looking like to me like it should be open and shut, but the main guy comes in with the police, by the way.
Hmm.
He didn't even get arrested. And all of a sudden his guys are okay to go. They call it self-defense on their part.
Hmm.
And at this point, the girls are like, well, why do they get to go? We don't get to go. So they let the girls go, and then they let Chung just sit there. Master Z is just sitting there like, Can I go? They're like, no, you got to make a statement or you can't go. Like, so obviously the police are in this triad's pocket because
Right.
like everything's going their way, nothing's going his way. He's supposed to be meeting his son for dinner. On top of that, the present that he got for him fell and broke.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not going. So we don't know what he's got to get home. The son's waiting for him. It's almost 10 o'clock.
It's his
And
son's
he gets
birthday.
there. Yeah. So he gets there. He takes him over to the restaurant. All this kid wants at the restaurant is some steak.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he's missing his steak. So he gets
Well,
home. He tries to get him to the restaurant real quick.
yeah. Well, it's obvious that the kid is tired of eating the same stuff all the time
Yeah.
because he says it for breakfast. He doesn't like having breadsticks every morning and something else. I don't even know what it was. He didn't say grits. He didn't say oatmeal. He didn't say cream of wheat. But that's what this stuff looked like that he was eating. Do you remember the name of it? Whatever that
I
cereal
don't
thing
know.
was?
Some kind of
Porridge?
porridge.
Yeah,
Yeah, more or
something. But
less.
the kid was tired of it. So of
Now
course
I'm gonna tell you,
he's thinking like, okay, I finally get to eat steak. I don't have to eat that porridge for
right?
this meal.
So this next part pisses me off, and I'm sure you know why.
No,
Because
I
he
don't.
opens his gift. Yes,
Okay.
he opens his gift. And it's Batman, okay? This is Batman. Yeah, now you know why I'm pissed off. Him and all his friends keep calling it they keep calling it Black Bat.
They called it Black Bat. And
Black
his
Bat?
it could yeah. So they broke the ears off, so he doesn't have the ears on the cow. The cape is yellow instead instead of being
I don't
black
care.
or blue.
This is Batman,
It's
not Black
Batman.
Bat. Black Bat. And not only that, but it's like a ballerina music box.
Yes. But it was a music box that didn't open. Like it didn't. It was just. It was just like a figurine that just spun around in a circle. Like what action figure does that?
Apparently Black Bat.
My son would have been looking like, "What is this for? What am I
Right?
supposed to do?" That's what he says sometimes. Like if I give him something that a great aunt buys him, and I give it to him, like he literally has looked at a gift and said, "What am I supposed to do with this?"
That's all boys. But you know what? I tell my son the same thing every time. I was like, listen, I don't care what you open, what it is. I don't care if it's the worst thing ever. You say thank you. I love it. We'll take
Yes.
it home, and then you can complain about it.
Oh, luckily he didn't say that in front of. He does. Oh, you know what? Now thinking about
Man,
yeah, he would
kids
say,
kids
yeah,
will say something all
yeah,
the time. I'm like,
he
nope,
definitely would.
that's not what gifts are about. Gifts are about someone thought about you, someone loves you. Deal with it.
Mhm. Right, right.
So there's a triad meeting. And like I said, I thought this one guy in the red suit was in charge. We come to find out, nah, he's number 2. His sister is number 1. And that's
Mhm.
Michelle Yoon part. And she has the same first name as him, Toso. So I don't even know. I guess she's Negan and he's Psy. So
I could.
is
I
their
was trying to listen
first
to
name?
them.
Is
So
their
I was.
first name their last name? I don't
I don't.
understand that. Because why would they have the same first name?
I don't know, man. I was like I said. I was listening to these characters when they were saying the names, and I was looking at the word, so I would know how to say the name. And it didn't sound like what they were saying. It didn't. What they were saying did not look like it was
I
worded that
know.
way. You know.
Well, either way, I'm just gonna call her. She's the one in charge. He's number 2. Brother and sister. So she's coming up with this. She wants to go legit. She's sick of everyone getting thrown in jail. She's sick of all the crimes. She wants to go legit. And the brother does not want to go legit, but she basically strong arms everyone into voting yes on going legit. So he has no
Hmm.
choice. He's got to get on the bandwagon or get out. So it is what it is. The little kid, he's showing off his new Black Bat toy, talking about Black Bat comics, and some other kid, bigger kid, talks about how this is stupid. You're stupid. My dad runs a karate school. Your dad runs a store, and so they're having a fight about who's got better kung fu.
Hmm.
Again, that's normal in a kung fu movie.
Yeah. And this acting
And
was horrible between these
it
two
was really
boys.
bad. Well, first off, the kung fu from both of them was terrible, and then
Yeah.
that kid getting punched in the eye by the bigger kid was terrible.
Yeah.
So of course he goes home, and like I said, he's talking about his dad having a kung fu school, but his dad does not have one anymore right now.
No.
And then he's putting his son to bed, and then someone locks up the shop and throws a couple of Molotov cocktails through the shop and tries to trap him in there, but they get out.
Yeah.
But like I said, at this point, like he had to take his son to the hospital. His son passed out. He's got probably bad smoke inhalation, and almost the whole house just burned down on him.
They should have been dead, man.
Yeah,
they
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 should have
should
been.
have been it. They shouldn't have been able to get out of there.
But the number one thing is the sister told the brother not to retaliate against this guy. So he's already going against his sister.
Well, hold on. You missed something. Well, we jumped over something. So you're right that part does happen. But what happens first is when Master Z gets out of his
Oh
store,
yeah, I
they're
forgot.
still there. They're still there looking at them,
Yeah,
and they end up fighting. And I was like, man, like he doesn't have any problems breathing. He's able to fight and beat these guys up right now. And it was kind of stupid how they got out. Like they pushed a drawer hard against the door and it popped. So they got chained in. So he chained it himself, but he was able to unlock himself. But the bad guys were on the outside of the store and they put their own lock and chain on there. So he
but
could
I'm
not
saying
open his
the
door,
bad
his
guys
gate.
never should have been there because
No,
the sister told him not to retaliate, and the brother didn't listen. He still retaliated, and then he's got to hand his son over to
right,
the random lady while he goes and fights these guys, jumping around Jackie Chan style.
right.
And then when he's done fighting, he comes over and she's like, "Your son, he passed out. We got to take him to the hospital."
Yeah, she was just
Just
randomly
so
walking down
random.
the street. She was
I
just
know,
randomly walking down the street and said, "Hey, here's my kid. Hold my kid while I beat
right?
these guys up that you brought to my shop."
No, no, thank you. Again, good fight scenes though. I
Yeah.
enjoyed these. This quality, some wire tricks, but whatever. You expect that in these kung fu movies. Jumping
Mhm.
around signs and everything. Uh, I enjoyed those. I kind of honestly, I want to see a second fight with these two.
Oh yeah.
With Ip Man,
Okay.
with him and Ip Man,
Oh
because
yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
a
yeah.
good fight. What
Yeah.
that was the fight at the beginning of Ip Man, right?
I don't know if it's in the beginning or if it was at the
The
end.
one in the
I don't.
house.
Yeah, it was in
No,
the house,
I
but
think it's
I
the
don't
first fight in the house.
at the very big. So this wasn't the
I'm gonna go
finale.
watch it tomorrow. I'm gonna go watch it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now,
So, but
who is
yes,
this guy in the hat? I don't. This guy in the hat looked real serious.
I
Um,
I don't remember who you're talking about.
right now, so the last fight before he has to help his son, there's a guy in a fedora, all black suit.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
He looks like a killer.
Shoot, I forgot who he was working for. Someone I thought.
Is that who he is?
Yeah, I think he was either working for the sister or he was working for Batista's character. He was working for someone, and they didn't resolve anything with him. Now that you say that, because I forgot all about him. Did him and Master Z have another fight
Is
at the end?
could he have? Could he be Fu?
Oh, I have no idea. Like I said, I have no idea what any of these characters' names are.
I
Who these
know. Well,
people are.
I'm looking at it right now because it doesn't look like this guy. Well, it might be this guy. Far Facer or Fu. I don't know. See,
Yeah,
like
I
I
don't
said, they
know.
don't really give names to everybody. So of course, he goes to the hospital. His son's doing okay. They're gonna keep him for a little bit, and the somehow he ends up the the girl who he saved earlier ends up meeting him at the hospital, and she's gonna give him some room and board at her place against her brother's wishes. Or was
Mhm.
that her brother or fiance?
That was her brother, but it was the first girl, the girl who was on
Yeah.
drugs. That was her fiance.
Okay.
So
I
so
I
they so that was
I knew
her
one
brother.
was a brother, one was the fiance.
Right,
So
right.
and Now he knows who Master Z is because he wants to fight him at one point. So I
I
don't know
missed that.
how that factored in. Yeah,
I think
when they're up
everybody.
on the
So when man, they should have fleshed this part out a little bit more.
I agree.
So this character, Master Z Chung, was an Ip Man, and at the end of Ip Man, well, at the beginning of this, we know that that was the character that Ip Man fought because they were doing like a little flashback, and I think they were showing them fight each other.
Yeah, they did.
But they didn't say so when he lost against Ip Man. They did not say if he left the town or the neighborhood. So when this starts, to me, it felt like he had moved here, like he was new to this area. But even though they didn't say that, I just took it upon myself to think that. Uh, because I would have thought that like he would have been a little bit more well known because he would have been someone who had a martial arts academy, a kung fu
Yeah,
academy, and was pretty famous. Because it seemed like in the Ip Man movies, all of the martial arts people were always known, and it was almost like all of their schools were like in a circle, wasn't it? Unless somebody
yes,
came to town and challenged them or whatever. But this movie did not seem like it was in the same area as what took place in Ip Man. So I was a little confused at first. So
me
it does
too.
not surprise me if this is in the same area, same neighborhood that everybody should have known who he was because he had a school at one point in time. Everyone should have known who he was.
I agree.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. So Master Z decides to pull his own weight and help with, thing because, he's an honorable person, so he wants to help out. He's going to be a bartender,
Hmm.
but again, the brother fiance doesn't like him. Um, he doesn't respect him, or he's mad at him for whatever reason. I don't know. And so,
He just
he
seemed like
gets
he just
into
got
it
a
with one.
he just seemed
Yeah,
like he
he
had an
gets
attitude
into
with
it.
everybody.
He really does. He gets into it with one of the customers, and so he's like, he tells them, even though the customer was acting crazy, he tells them, hey, the customer's always right. Calm down. Da da da. Which, dude, you can't let people talk to you like that. But okay, whatever. It's your business.
Hmm. Yeah.
So he's trying to figure some of that out. Um, the the brother of Michelle Yoon's character, they she's basically reprimanding him, and he doesn't like it, so he leaves. And she tells someone to follow him, and then she shows up at the club. Now the brother is scared of her,
Hmm.
and we don't know why yet, but we do find out in a minute. But she's not there for the brother.
Oh yeah, he was kissing her
She's
ass.
Yeah, she's there for Master Z,
Right.
and she's trying to put things right between what her brother did and giving him money and everything. And they have this was cutesy wootsy bullshit, but it was kind of cool. They had this little like kung fu fight with a drink.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
They always do something. They always have to do something like that. Like, who's the better kung fu artist? Let's prove our mastery. Oh,
Yeah.
you know what it reminded me of? It reminds me of Kung Fu Panda, where they're fighting with the chopsticks over the
Yeah.
last dumpling.
Right. 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 You're right. You're right. You're not wrong, man. That's exactly what it was like. But
So,
that was weird. I'm thinking like, dude, you don't have a house anymore. Take the
yeah,
damn check. Like, why
he
would you
should have.
not take that damn money? That didn't
Didn't
make
he
any
give it?
sense to me.
Didn't he give it to the brother?
No, he refused it, but she did. She gave it to the brother
Yeah, she gave it to the
for
brother.
the
That's what I thought.
for the drinks. I'm like, no, like give me my money. I don't have a house
Right?
anymore. I don't even have a business
Exactly.
anymore.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was crazy.
yeah.
So the brother, I think, is basically looking for new employment, and I don't know what he's talking to. Is this a brother of his, or is you just calling him his brother?
Cool.
I don't know. There's the two guys talking because I think the guy that he ends up talking to works for Batista's character, Owen.
I don't remember. I don't
Because I
remember.
think from this is where this movie started losing me, because he he's talking to this guy, and then he's not work. He's basically trying to get away from working with his sister because he doesn't like that she's telling him what to do.
Yeah.
Then we pan over to
Oh yeah, yeah,
Master
yeah, yeah,
Z.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Master Z and the brother on the roof, and this is where he starts talking about you challenge it man, and this and that, and then like you said, they go back and kind of show the fight of the two gyms and everything, and then uh, he said I didn't want to teach anymore, and he said you were on the top of your game, but let me see what you got now.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to challenge him, and it's a decent fight, but
They're not really. He's
Master
not
Z
really
is
trying.
that's what I'm saying. Master Z, he doesn't even have to. This guy can't fight, not on his level,
Mm-hmm.
and he's smacking him around. He's like, "Well, what? Do you want me to just take it easy on you and not?" Basically, he's like, "What? You got to be punished if you can't block my techniques. I could punch you in the face, or I could just smack you around a little bit." So, and then he kind of acts like I don't know what he wanted from Master Z, because he's been treating him poorly,
Mm-hmm.
but then it's almost like he wants him to step up and be a hero.
Well, I think also he was acting like that also because he was making sure that he wasn't gonna try and bang his fiance or bang his sister. You
Oh, he
know.
doesn't care. He's just worried about
Oh, he
taking care of
said
his
that.
kid. And
He said that at first. He said both. He's like, one is my fiance, the other is my sister, and you can't touch neither one of them. He told him that when he first got there. So of course he's kind of acting like an asshole. But they probably had already told him that he saved them from
yeah,
the brothers and
which is
his
why he
goons,
should be
whatever.
grateful.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. Because
so
your fiance was getting smacked up. He should have been wanting to go check the guy himself.
right, but instead we find out he's working for the sister. He's on her payroll, so he really can't do much.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this next part that we're at, Owen slash Dave Bautista's, it looks like his bar or restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
and they're
Restaurant, yeah.
having an auction, and they're bidding on different things, and uh, Michelle Yeoh's character wins the bid, but they turn her money down because of who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And since when do these things turn down gangster money? Money is money.
Yeah, and well, I'll get to that later. I was gonna say something, but I'll get to that later. It has to do with Batista's character.
No, I agree. Yeah. Well, he's flying under the radar, but
Yeah,
she says she's openly a bitch. She says, "Yeah, I realize that I haven't been the most honest business person, but I'm trying to change that."
yeah.
Which she is,
So
but
this auction was for a group of business people, and they did not want her to join or be involved in the, I don't know, I'm gonna call it the Hong Kong Business Association. They didn't want to have anything to do with her, so they wouldn't allow her to uh,
yeah,
bid or participate or anything that they had going on. So
this would be like the Better Business Bureau stepping in and saying no, thank you.
yeah, that's crazy. I don't think
Yeah,
any
I agree.
auction would say no to money.
Especially if it's for such a good cause.
Yeah,
No,
and she was
like
offering a
I
lot of
said,
money for what she wanted. It was pretty expensive.
she offered $100,000.
Yeah,
So,
$100,000.
and everybody else was coming in at like 30, 40. So
Yeah.
it was good
So
enough. The brother, Buddy, like I said, he brings them to Owen, and he basically, Owen says, if you want to work with me, there can only be one of you. I'm only dealing with one of you. So basically, he's got one of them has to kill each other. And of course, the brother, he's like, yeah, sure, I'll kill him. And before he even gets a chance to shoot the guy, Owen shoots him
Mm-hmm.
and says, you didn't really have to do that. I was going to take you on no matter what. That's a that's
Oh no,
a
no, no! Owen didn't shoot
crazy
him. He
move.
did it. He did it. The brother did it.
Oh,
It wasn't
I always
Owen.
say, I saw the why did he have his gun up?
I think he just pulled it out. And I think Owen took it, and I mean not Owen. The brother took it and shot him, and then he did say like, "You didn't have to kill him. I was gonna."
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah,
more sense. I thought so.
yeah.
By the way, Batista with a mustache, I hate it. I hate it.
I'm gonna tell you
It's
that
not it doesn't look right. It doesn't
at,
look right.
at least Batista has range as an actor.
He does.
He is
No, I
probably
really
the
enjoy
best.
him a lot.
He is probably the best wrestler that's turned into an actor. Because I don't care what nobody says about The Rock. Rock is not that great of an actor, and it seems like all of his stuff is the same, anyways. Hulk
Well,
Hogan definitely horrible.
The Rock is just The Rock, only acting. So,
Yeah, yeah, and everything he's the same character every single time. But oh well, I'll get to that in a minute too. It was
and
I saw something.
you notice for The Rock, when he first started acting, it was just The Rock.
Yeah,
Now he wants him to say Dwayne Johnson, but they
yeah.
still put Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. They
Well,
won't put
I'm gonna
just
tell you
Dwayne
what
Johnson.
I'm gonna tell you what happened with that. So originally he was The Rock, but he was still wrestling. But then when he stopped wrestling, he wanted to he couldn't use the Rock part because the WWE owned the Rock, so he
Yeah.
couldn't use the Rock, and he wasn't with them anymore. So then he had people got used to calling him Dwayne Johnson, but eventually he started putting the Rock back. I think he had a meeting with Vince McMahon, and he was able to put Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Now he owns it back. When he became part of TKO, he got his name. He got the Rock back from WWE, so he now owns that
Okay.
name now.
Master Z goes to approach the sister about selling drugs. He's trying to help get the brother that he's living with right now out of the drug game. And she basically says it's not that easy. And she compliments him on his fighting skill, but she's like, I'm trying to get out of the gangster business, but right now I need all the money I can get to get out. So it is what it is. And he's basically tells her that's not good enough. So kind of at an impasse here. And it's a big issue because now they don't really say that she set this up, but oh no, this is the brother. Sorry. This has nothing to do with the sister. The brother shows up now working for Owen,
Yeah,
and he goes after the fiance, and he just basically forces a bunch of drugs on her.
yeah.
And
Well,
she
this well he kind of blamed her for everything that was going on with Master Z and everything. Now, this is which was confusing the hell out of me.
That's dumb to blame her on that though, because he was just passing by.
Yeah,
If he didn't beat her or make her
yeah,
pay the principal, none of this would have. If he would have just let her walk away, everybody could have gone about their day. So that's dumb.
yeah. Well, also
But
what's
sure,
confusing
whatever.
to me is this bar that her fiance owned. It seemed almost like one of the bars that was in Warrior because I'm like, are these women? Is this a brothel? What's happening? Because
It's possible.
his sister was a singer, and he
Yep.
owned it. Master Z worked in there, but his fiance was hanging out with sailors, and these sailors are trying to get her drunk, and they're giving her drinks. So that's why she came out of the bar. And when she came out of the bar, um, this guy, the main bad guy, whatever you said his name was, he saw her stumble out of the bar because she's out in the alley like vomiting because she's been drinking
Mm-hmm.
so much, and they are trying to get her hooked back on drugs, and she tells them that she doesn't want any drugs or anything anymore. And they get into an altercation, and then he just opens a pack and just shoves it in her face and puts it down her throat, puts it in her mouth, and shit, pretty much just kills her. You knew that was going to happen. I mean, a
Yeah, because
handful of cocaine. I mean,
she gets she doesn't get a few steps, and her sister sees her. And of course, the first thing the sister's going to think is, God bless it, you're back on the drugs. But she tells her sister, like, I didn't take it willingly this time before she dies.
Right.
And then this sets forth the chain of events because now Master Z is pissed.
Mm-hmm.
He goes,
And the brother.
yeah,
well, you know,
and the brother.
Her fiance,
So
yeah.
they go to confront. I'm assuming they're assuming it's the sister, but it was the brother on his own. This had nothing to do with the sister. At the same time, they're showing up for a fight. The brother's kind of taking on the sister with his own crew, with his new crew.
Mm-hmm.
And all hell basically breaks loose here. This is your good old fashioned 2 against 50,
Yeah.
backroom brawl that we're gonna get, and the two are winning.
Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, nobody in here has a gun. Just shoot their ass. Nobody has a gun. They could eliminated all that problem in with 2 shots. Boom, boom. We're done.
Now, I wanted to see more of this fight with Michelle Yoon because I really enjoy. I like her martial arts a lot.
That was a good fight for her and Master
Yeah,
Z.
but it could have been more, especially when you put a sword in her hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more fight scenes with her because she's got really good kung fu. I know you'll hate this movie, but Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where she got her big break, is such a good movie. The martial arts is good, but it's all subtitled. And it's
what? I know that movie. I never watched it. I remember when it came out, and I never watched it. I've never seen it. But now that we're doing this,
no,
I guess you don't have to see
you and Angel hate it because it's more complex than Hero.
I think Angel probably watched it and probably liked it. That seemed like something that would have been up his alley.
Well, there's a lot going on in that one. It's a love story, it's a betrayal, it's a lot going on, but the martial arts in it is really good. Anyhow, maybe one day. Yeah, these were interesting fighting scenes, a lot of weapons, a lot going on. It kind of got out of hand quick.
Yeah.
And it's funny because why did she start fighting Master Z when he was there for who took out the sister?
Well, I think she was like, this is still my brother. I still, like, why are these 2 guys here? Like, she didn't know. They just kind of bust into her place and they were there for a fight. So she did not know what was going on. She knew that there were problems between her brother and them, but she didn't know what her brother had done. And I don't even think they explained it when they walked in. Like, hey, I don't remember if they did, but I don't think they did. Like, hey, my fiance's dead because of what you did. It probably would have been different if she had known that.
Now the sister did turn on the brother at the end because she asked where are the drugs hidden, and they got the drugs out. So
yeah,
that was interesting. Once she found out what happened,
she cut his arm off.
Yeah, well, she said that was penance for what he did.
Right.
Which I guess that's one way to look at it, but whatever. I mean, you should have just let him finish him off, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then again, we see the police show up at the bar with the brother, and they're here to arrest the good guys.
Well, it was a setup. Yeah, it was a setup.
I know, but it's crazy because eventually, at one point, someone finally stands up to this tyranny and does the right thing and basically says, are you guys just going to let this happen? And so the one police actually arrests the one. There's only one police that's in charge that's doing all this to everyone. And then finally someone stands up and arrests him and starts trying to do the right thing, which sets in motion other craziness because happens,
the brother gets arrested. So when the police show up because they're sent there by Batista and or Owen. They and the 2.
Yeah, they didn't take the brother to jail. They took him to Batista.
Yeah, because one of the officers had a couple of packs of cocaine in his pocket, and while the police are searching the bar, he pulls it out and says, "Hey, I found these too." So it's a complete setup. They set the brother up, so they take him, and like you
Okay,
said, they take him right to Owen and
so were the
beat the hell out
drugs
of him.
Owens, not
Yeah,
the sisters?
yeah, it
Okay,
was his.
I
Yeah, it was
guess I
his.
think I missed that. That makes it. So
Yeah,
that's why he's pissed.
yes.
Okay, but shouldn't he have had Master Z as well? Because Master Z is part of the reason why he lost the drugs.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was next or whatever. I don't know.
Well, either way, it's not been a good day for fiance and brother
Yeah,
because he lost his fiance and then he lost his life because
he gets the
Owen
hell beat out
messes.
of him.
Yeah, Owen messes him up pretty good. Now I will say this: for Owen, seems like he can handle himself pretty well, and this guy, although he's handcuffed, he still is
Hmm.
able to fight.
Yeah,
Why are you going to handcuff a guy and then kill him with your fists? At
yeah.
least make it a fair fight, bro.
Well, he also hit him with the Batista bomb. And remember, we talked about that. When they have wrestlers in movies, I hate when they have them do wrestling moves. They just let them just fight. Like, don't say, "Hey, remember he's a wrestler." Like, I
They
hate when they do stuff like that.
they think they're pandering to the crowd, but they're just pissing us off.
Yeah.
And again, I just can't take him serious with that goddamn mustache. It's driving me nuts.
So what ends up happening is the brother also grabs a hold of him and rips off his bracelet that he has, and that was
Yeah.
important because we have saw the bracelet earlier in the movie when Master Z and his son went to the restaurant for the son's birthday, and he was serving him his steak, and the son saw
Yep.
it because it was I guess the logo for Black Bats. So when
Oh, is
during
that
this
what it
fight,
was?
yeah, that's what it was because they had a
I
conversation
didn't
about
catch
it.
that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't catch that.
So when the brother is fighting Owen, he rips it off of him. When they go to view the body, he still has it in his hand. So when Master Z goes and looks at the body and he opens the hand up, he sees that bracelet. He knew exactly who had killed him. So that's why he went right to him to have a fight because he knew that he did this.
This was a pretty good fight, but
Yeah.
because he basically once he confronts him, he's like, "Okay, so what? I gotta kill you now?"
Yeah. And they went back and forth. And I mean, Matches he was getting beat up a little bit. Yeah, and it was only because Batista's Owen is so much bigger than him, so he's slamming him around and throwing him around, and like you said, you can
But
see the wire work.
that's also when again where it takes me right back. Like the kung fu guys versus the kung fu guys is always a good fight, but then the second a kung fu guy gets against a boxer or a wrestler or something, they always seem to have a hard time. I mean, they always come out in the end, but they always have a
Mhm.
hard time. So it's like I would like to see just in one of these movies, hey man, okay, kung fu versus kung fu, no problem. What else you got? Because this boxer guy is kicking your ass against your kung fu. Like, find something else to beat him with. Come on, bro.
Hmm.
But it is what it is. It's cool. Still a good fight. There's had some really good fight scenes in this. Because yeah,
Yeah,
he does eventually beat him.
yeah, I didn't mind
Uh,
the fight. It was pretty good to me.
yeah, I mean he was hitting him with some pressure points, and that's what they like to do. And he was doing some leg shots. Like he definitely knew with his size difference, he was going to have to pull out some different things. Now, here's what I don't understand because after this fight ends, and like you said, the police finally do the right thing, but they still don't arrest Owen, even though I
Uh,
thought they they proved that he was the one who killed the brother.
he wasn't dead at the end of this.
He was, but when they were arresting people finally, they should have arrested him too because he walked away, and that's I think the guy who was in the hat earlier. Yeah, this guy with the hat. at the beginning that walked away from the
Mhm.
fight with Master Z threw a dart at the back of his head.
Yes, that's right. That's right. That's right.
So who is that guy? Is what I want to
I
know.
don't.
Who does
I
he
don't
work
know.
for?
Yeah, I don't
Who
know,
does
man.
he work for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Listen, Jeff, if you know, who does that guy work for?
Yeah, Jeff's gonna explain it.
I was asking myself that the whole time. Who is that guy? Is he from the other movies? Is that the problem?
Yeah, I don't remember,
Like they
man.
made him out to be important
Yeah, I don't remember.
because when he showed up, he was taking on Master Z no problem until Master Z had to take care of his kid. So this
Yeah,
guy has an honor system of his own, and
yeah,
he didn't like something he didn't like because at first I thought he worked for Owen, but he
yeah.
killed Owen at the end.
This
So
is one of
I
those.
need to know who that guy is.
This is one of those movies I think you have to watch more than once, and then
Yeah,
you start
probably.
putting stuff. You start putting stuff together and understanding things a little bit better. That's what I think. So
So this ends. He's the funny thing is this ends with him, the kid, and the sister.
yeah,
Now the
having
brother's
the
gone.
friend.
I guess it's okay.
Well, I was thinking like I guess he owns the bar now. Like
Yeah,
who else? Him and the sister, because all the sister wants to do is sing. She enjoys singing.
yeah. And then him and the son are practicing on their kung
Yes,
fu
the wooden
boards.
dummy.
I don't know what they're called, which I always thought those things were kind of cool.
I don't think I would want to. I don't think I know I wouldn't want to use it all the time.
Well,
Maybe
you
once.
wouldn't.
Like, oh, this is what you do one time.
What
Okay,
would we
fine.
use it for? We don't do kung fu.
No, yeah, I don't. No, I don't know. No, um, I think I probably like it better than Bob though.
Yeah, you and Bob, man. You and Bob. Every time I see a video where someone's beating the hell out of a Bob and throwing it down a cliff, I always think of you.
Yeah, you sent it to me.
I
You
know.
said-
I have to.
All right, man. So
Um,
what grade are you giving this movie?
uh, I enjoyed this movie. The martial arts was good. Like I said, the story wasn't terrible. It was just some of it was hard to follow. So for that, I'll give it a B plus.
All right. We're not far apart. I'm gonna give it an A minus. I really enjoyed it, but like I said,
Yeah,
I will probably watch this again. I'll probably watch it a couple more times. Not now, not tonight, not this week. Maybe in a few weeks, in a couple of months or
I
whatever.
think I'm
Just
gonna watch the whole series just to see where some of these fall in place.
yeah, because you said part four. This part four is the sequel to this one, but we watched part four
According to online, yes, that's what
for
it
It
is.
Man. For It Man. So I don't know,
Yeah.
man. So who's I enjoyed the It Man series, so I have no problems watching it again. So I want to do something different for the next movie.
Okay.
I know this is gonna be bad. I know this off rip because I've seen this movie already. I've seen it before. I've seen it years
What is
ago.
it? What is it? What is it?
Let's watch Dragon Ball Evolution. And now
Oh,
I know it's gonna be bad. It was bad the
you
first
don't
time and the only time
understand.
I
You
saw
don't
it.
understand. Okay, as an anime fan,
Yeah.
I hate this movie.
This reminded me of the Super Mario Brother movie with Bob
Yes.
Hoskin and what's his name? Dang, I'm
Uh,
blanking.
Le, I
Yeah,
know his name.
yeah,
John Leguizamo.
yeah. That's what because that movie was nothing like. I remember being a kid and Super Mario was coming out the movie. That was nothing like Super Mario Brothers at all. It
This
was
oh
a
no, hell no.
huge disappointment. And when I saw this movie, this was a disappointment. Dragon Ball Evolution definitely was a disappointment because I remember watching the anime with Trav, and because Travis actually got me into it, watching, and this was nothing like Dragon Ball Z. So
No, what they do what they always try to do. They tried to turn it into something it wasn't. They made Goku and Chi Chi high school kids,
yeah.
which just made no sense. And then they tried to make it like this cool, after school special high school musical BS, and it ruined the whole thing. Uh,
Yeah.
Piccolo looked atrocious. I mean, come on.
I don't even
Piccolo was
remember.
never.
I don't
Oh,
even remember
Piccolo
Piccolo.
looks horrible in this, but Piccolo is an easy character to create, and you messed it up. So
Mhm.
just go away.
I always thought if they ever did another Dragon Ball Z, Samuel Jackson, I know he's getting up there, but he should play Piccolo. I think that'd be the perfect person to play Piccolo. Either him or Travis. Travis can do it too. Travis can play Piccolo. I can see him as Piccolo.
You know what though? I think Samuel Jackson would be a good evil Piccolo, but I don't know that he could play the good Piccolo.
I don't know. I think that'd be interesting. So let's do
It'd be
that.
very interesting.
This week,
I thought Netflix was supposed to do Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, so we'll see.
yeah, I heard they are doing a Dragon Ball Z movie, live action Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball
They
1.
got-
I don't know which one they're doing, but
You know what? They did Avatar. They did good with that. They did good with One Piece. So let's see if they can keep it going.
so they probably should do, instead of doing a movie, do a live action TV show.
I heard that's what they're going to do.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, well, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see.
All right. Also, this week, so next week we're gonna do Dragon Ball Evolution. See how that goes. I know Angel's probably gonna be thrilled to hear that. And on Superflix, Joe and I are going to review this week RoboCop. So we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna say my comments. I'm not gonna say nothing else about that tonight. So you guys gotta listen to Superflix on Friday and hear what we think about that. All right. Anything else, Joe?
No, I'm good, man.
All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week. And I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.